Hello again, folks, and welcome back to Let's Play Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. I'm your Dungeon Master Darius. Last we left off, I did a lot of talking to a lot of NPCs and dialogue. Most importantly, though, the Queen was just like, "Hey, uh, Darren, you cheeky bastard, you're joining him whether you like it or not," which I don't entirely oppose, but still, nice to know. I didn't get an option of that. I really do wish that I have an option to look at the other options for the mythic stuff right in this area, because that'd be nice to just have on hand. Anyways, I believe we still need to do a lot of talkie, a lot of the characters again. High lower, wait, high lower? Oh, yeah. You're the dude who helps me do things and stuff. You've earned the title of Commander. Kennebar still stands thanks to you, but you'll have to be doubly on your guard. Your eminence places a target on your back, and there are assassins about. Killing a high-ranking crusader would bring a demon far more prestige than killing a common soldier. Not long ago, I stymied a few of the spinner of the nightmare's attempts on the lives of influential crusaders. So you know what I'm talking about. Oh boy, this is the guy who makes it so as you can respec your dudes. Actually, yeah, do you know anything about a Pathfinder named Finian Dismar? Let me think. Dismar, definitely heard the name. Of course you have, I'm a Pathfinder too. So you're the chief in these lands now? What about Lady Alri? When I left for the wound, she had just taken up the position. Hylor examines the talking weapon and chuckles sadly. I'm afraid Alri perished during the Third Crusade. Yes, now I remember. Finian Dismar went missing in the wound at the end of the Second Crusade. His name has been on the lists of the fallen for a while. Here I am, alive and well, right in your lists that I'm back, and soon I'll file a detailed report about everything that happened to me. His voice is filled with joy. I knew it was a misunderstanding, but now everything will return to normal. I need to write to my folks. They probably think I'm dead too. Hylor shakes his head sadly. Poor lad, but such is the fate of a Pathfinder. We face the unknown, but sometimes the unknown wins and our mind cannot take it. Yeah, that's kind of what I've assumed. Which influential crusaders did you save from the Spinner of Nightmares? I've been hunting the Spinner of Nightmares for over a year. My agents, by that time I created a proper network, reported to me that she'd returned to Nerosian. I immediately suspected that she is planning a great atrocity. By that time I learned all too well that the Spinner was master of illusions and charms. That's why I never left the house without this. He takes a monocle from his pocket and puts it on carefully. Oh, 1 second. I've apparently decided to record at a time when my nose suddenly decides, you know what, you don't need to breathe. This is the Eye of Truth. It allows me to see through illusions. My friend got it from the priests of Nethys. However, neither this monocle nor my network of agents were adequate to prevent the attacks, and we were nearly too late. The Spinner of Nightmares decided to strike at the Cruciform Cathedral. They had gathered to celebrate the victory of the First Crusade. It was a great holiday, and there was a lavish ceremony at the cathedral. An influential priest, Anthoclitus, was in charge of the festivities. They were intending to crown him with a tiara, a symbol of a high status, but the sacred tiara had been replaced. The Spinner had obtained an Incultilus, a sentient and rather ominous cephalopod from the other end of the world. She raised it from the Elver and trained it carefully, and she cast an illusion on it so everyone would see it as a tiara. The one was placed on Anthoclitus's head. The cephalopod would release its tentacles and penetrate the priest's skull. Poison would seep into his brain and would seize control over Anthoclitus's dead body. Fortunately, we were able to stop this madness in time. I spotted the Spinner of Nightmares in the crowd, chased her down, and we ended up crossing swords on the roof of the cathedral. I nearly defeated her, but she fled upon a giant stallion, which was able to run across the air as if it were on the ground. That's a nightmare. No, like, that's the creature, a horse with a flaming mane, probably nightmare. I was so close to catching her. She suffered a setback, but I let her escape. Hylor's bitter and angry smile shows he hasn't made peace with his failure. Didn't we just talk about this? Long story. Telling you everything will take 2 days. What part do you want to know? Talk about this later. I need brave and experienced companions. You can rely on my lads, but you'll have to pay them. 18,000 is their standard rate. I don't have that kind of money right now. Society has established universal rates to avoid competition between Pathfinders in different countries. Woo! Lordy. Gonna be a while until I can afford his services. I can tell you that as such. I mean, unless I can get 18,000.
What a find!
Okay. I was gonna say, unless I can find 18,000 gold worth of loot within this pitiful little camp, of which I'm doubting. Ah, boy, there you are. Very good, just in time. You'll be delighted to know that I need you for an experiment. Oh, God. So the Grey Garrison stands roofless. Demons are running for the hills with their tails between their legs. Mendev's queen, what's her name? It's on the tip of my... Ah, yes, Galfrey, is scurrying to and fro, and all this is somehow connected to you, my loyal follower. I will kneecap you. Thus far is no scientific evidence of your exceptionality if one discounts blind faith and divine intervention, which I do. We, people of science, refuse to believe in the inexplicable without any proof. We are the ones who explain the inexplicable. Nina punctures her statement with an energetic sweep of her arm, and therefore, open your mouth and say ah for me. Why? It's obvious. I'm going to study you. Come along, don't stand in the way of science. What does my mouth have to do with my new abilities? Perhaps there is no connection, or perhaps there is a direct connection. We'll never know unless we try to find out. I'm not going to do that. Secretiveness, Being secretive implies you have secrets. I'm going to stab you. Ninio stares at your mouth like a hunter staring at his prey. What do you have in there? A blue tongue, blackened teeth, or can you breathe fire now? But I suppose we can postpone the visual examination for now. Imagine a hypothetical situation. You are a tree. 2 squirrels have found their way into your hollow and are now copulating there. What do? I do precisely nothing, because I am a tree. Non-conscious act of withdrawal, along with the lack of trust in your own abilities, or perhaps just a healthy dose of pragmatism? On to the next question, another hypothetical situation. You are a tomato. You've just been picked from the vegetable path and put into a crate. You know that today the cook will use half the tomatoes from your crate to make soup. What do? This is like when you're in a relationship and your partner asks, "Would you still love me if I'm a worm?" It's a stupid remark. If I'm to be eaten, then there's not much I can do. That is the fate of a no, that would be implying that there is a fate of a tomato. I feel like what is this nonsense? This nonsense, as you call it, is a unique methodology for detecting secret tendencies hidden in one's subconsciousness. It was developed by the great scientists of modern times. So, based on your self-clamation, you? Now focus on the task at hand, if you please. There's nothing I can do. I'm a tomato, remember? Non-conscious act of withdrawal, inability or unwillingness to see something bigger behind something small. Alright, I understand. On the surface, it appears you don't really believe in your ability to change things, but in fact, you are a strong pragmatist who knows perfectly well what you can and can't do. The reasoning is that of a mortal, one who is capable of achieving a great deal, though he would deny even that. On that note, I deem this experiment complete. Thank you for participation. Ninio looks at you pensively and then gestures at you with a wide sweep of her arm. And yet, you remain a puzzle to me. I love puzzles. One of these days I will solve you completely, unless I forget. Now I have time to answer your questions. Come on, ask away. I have to go. Good lord, that hurts. It feels like every single time that I talk to an NPC or one of my companions, it just hurts my head.
I'll go ahead.
Not saying, I'm just saying. Ooh, quartz. Alright. Where the hell are my other companions here? Crusaders. There's you lot.
Hello. So, what do you reckon about everything that's come crashing down on us? All the responsibility, command, this new power?
This apparently is what I was born for.
I envy your confidence. In a good way. It's great to believe that everything is going the way it should. I'm still frightened by what happened in the Grey Garrison. Were we really chosen? By Iomade herself? You know, back when I was a snot-nosed kid who just started down the path to becoming a paladin, I imagined once or twice that I was going to do something heroic. The lights would shine down on me, the trumpets would sing, I'd hear the voice of the goddess, or at least her herald, you know? I'd be informed that I had been chosen for a great cause. But that's the point where my imagination always failed me. Somehow, it really happened. Without all the trumpets or the herald or even anyone explaining what I had to do. Though it's clear as day, my place is here. In this demon-ridden wound. Quite a lovely war going on, in fact. Endless, I hear. I'm gonna need some time to wrap my head around this. Spare me an hour and I'll crawl into some dark corner and whine about my hard lot. What can I tell you? I cry easily.
Is fighting demons all you want, or are you looking for something more? How about covering myself in glory and becoming the hero of 100 ballads, or at least a dozen if they're lively ones? Anyway, to be more serious, the area around the World Wound is the best place for a paladin. Oh wait, no, I think I've had all this discussion before. But look, the smaller things. Alright. More loot. I found a pepper box. Oop. Ah. Well, that doesn't. I'm gonna collect that. Seriously, would it kill the designers to make it so as the other NPCs were listed? Oh. Okay. That's not suspicious in the slightest. I don't know what you're talking about. Damn right you'll serve. Kinda throws me off when some of these dudes just don't say anything, actually. Okay, there's Leoter. I'm gonna save just in case there's changes in conversation. Commander, let me personally congratulate you on your new rank, your new title, and thank you for your time in advance. I'm Leoter Hawkblade, an Inquisitor of the Church Iomade, the Bringer of Light. I require your assistance in a certain delicate matter involving one of your companions, Count Dairin Arinde. Tell me more about yourself, Inquisitor. I want to know who I'm dealing with. I'm Ulfin by birth. Ooh, Ulfin. But I've lived in Mindev for most of my life, dedicating myself to the service of the Inheritor. My warrior brethren mostly worship Gorum, but I've never been eager to fight for the sake of battle alone. I was a good fighter in my early youth and could easily best most of my peers, but I didn't enjoy showing off my skills. Victory is bland on its own. Purpose always adds flavor to war. I can't say that I have always been a faithful sword of Iomade. Back in my mercenary days, fate brought me to the borders of Mindev, where I spent plenty of long time among the Crusaders, fighting shoulder to shoulder with my righteous comrades in arms, and watching demons commit their atrocities eventually led me to something I had been seeking my whole life: purpose and faith. That is how I found my calling. Even though it may be hard at times, I've never regretted my decision. Are you one of are you one of Prelate Holrune followers? Heh, his face freezes for a moment, but he nods. Yes, of course. Are you aware that I was the one who killed him? His face proclaims his astonishment. No, I wasn't aware. Why are you revealing this to an Inquisitor in so calmly, and a surprisingly bold move? Bewildered, he is at a loss for words. How did it happen? It was a rather lawful move, I will not lie. I wanted to protect a priest of Desna. He was deemed a traitor and threatened with execution. I will have to confirm your testimony when I finish investigating the court count's case, but knowing the Reverend Holrun and his attitude towards the Desnians all too well, I also know that is true. This news is hard to accept. Why did I leave Kenabres right when everyone needed me the most? Perhaps I could have protected the people and prevented my brethren from making fatal mistakes that led to such an innocuous end. Well, yep. What brings you here? I ask you to assist the Church of Iomade in an investigation of the utmost importance. I understand that the leader of the Crusade has plenty of other matters to attend to, but please allow me to tell you the details. Perhaps it will explain why I'm calling upon you. The Inquisitor's open face instantly reveals his feelings. He frowns and looks through you, lost in his thoughts for a moment. I suppose that you have already heard about Count Arende's story. I refer to the tragedy of Heaven's Edge Estate. Ah, yeah, where pretty much his entire family was slain, but he was not, by poison. It is a rather concerning thing. You're going to open this old case again, aren't you? Yes, I am. I have several reasons to doubt the widely shared account of this exactly happened at the estate and how it happened. You see, Commander, I was among those sent to examine the estate after the incident. I saw everything with my own eyes, and I still remember it clearly, even though it feels like it happened a lifetime ago. Heaven's Edge was a unique place that still carried the spirit of old Mindev, Mindev being before the world wound, and yet on that day it turned into a labyrinthian house of horrors, like something only seen in our nightmares. Apologies for the digression, I wanted to tell you about my suspicions. Everything about the incident seemed odd. Why was the only person left alive a young boy with a newfound talent for divine magic? Why didn't nobody send to Kenabres for help even though the agony spanned many hours? We found the demons dead with their heads cut off when we got into the estate. How were they defeated? How did the disease kill even the paladins present at the estate who are said to be immune to any disease? If the demons have found a way to penetrate the Holy Warrior's defenses, why has this never been repeated since the tragedy at Heaven's Edge? You are the only person who can help me here, Commander, because the only living witness of those events is currently serving in your army. Your army's route will take you near the very site of the tragedy. Heaven's Edge has been abandoned and sealed with potent magic throughout all these years, and only the Count has the power to break that seal. He is unlikely to invite an Inquisitor inside, and in any case he won't like me sniffing around his family seat. But if you, as his commander, express your wish to visit the estate, he will be obliged to fulfill it, and I will simply follow you as one of your attendants. There are 100 ways, 1,000 paths, and myriad loopholes in human lives that the force of evil can use to their advantage. I'm not sure which one of those led the demons to the gates of the Heaven's Edge, but I do know it wasn't a simple raid. The crime Crusaders face every day. That incident involved a significantly more powerful entity, and that is why I am asking for your help. We cannot be sure that such a tragedy will not happen again until we uncover the truth. You've already been to the estate several times. What do you expect to find now? I was a young and inexperienced Inquisitor when I first visited Heaven's Edge 10 years ago. My skills have improved significantly since then, and I have paid dearly for that. and gives a vague gesture pointing at his scars. My arsenal includes many spells and techniques dedicated to gathering information about people and events. Almost all of them require me to be physically present in the place where the event in question happened. That's why I must return to Heaven's Edge. Why can't you search the estate yourself without involving me? The estate is abandoned and sealed with powerful containment enchantments that only the Count himself can lift. That's not the main reason, however. The main reason is that Count Arenday is not officially under investigation by the Inquisition, so I couldn't just break into his house even if I found a way to bypass the spells. This is a serious matter. A matter that threatens the reputation of the entire Church of Iomade and my own organization in particular. We made more than enough unforgivable mistakes during the Third Crusade and are still dealing with their consequences. Your presence will give my investigation the necessary legitimacy, Commander. But there is more. In addition to getting official permission, I'd also like to bring in an independent third-party investigator to this case. Someone independent but well-respected, and you fit this role perfectly. Did you question Darren himself? I did, but the Count insisted he couldn't remember anything about the incident due to severe shock. He saw the demons at the very beginning when they appeared at the celebration to announce the onset of the plague and mock their victims. He also witnessed the death of his mother, Countess Selena. That was all he would tell me. We had found the young Count sleeping like a log on the floor on one of the rear chambers, having drunk about half the family wine cellar all by himself. There's no reason to disbelieve him on this matter. Yet you suspect that Darren is hiding something, that he is to blame for the tragedy? I deliberately refuse to entertain any theories or suspicions so that it doesn't affect the investigation. There is a saying among my colleagues that suspicion is the mother of prejudice, and prejudice is married to failure. I can only tell you that Count Arenday wasn't suffering from demonic possession, the most common malaise in our country at the time. Rather, Holrun himself examined the boy right about after the tragedy, and he didn't sense anything awry with him. That's right, Holrun was a little bit less extreme back in the day. Fine, I'll help you. What do you need me to do? Bows his head to you with an exceptional reverence. Thank you, Commander. Now I ask you to speak to the Count and tell him that you wish to see Heaven's Edge. Please do not inform him of my presence right away. I will join your escort when it's time to travel to the estate. When we get there, I will also require your help during the investigation. You will have to follow me, observing my actions as an independent witness. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask me. I will remain here for a time. Neat. Hey, Windowag. He greets you with a servile bow. Master, how can I help you? So what do you think of your new powers? Oh, I made the right choice when I decided to serve you, Master. This power you have given me, I always felt I was destined to possess such might. Her voice is soft and deep like a cat's purr. That army of mongrels you promised would be quite useful right about now. Yes, they would be useful in this campaign. If we had more time and weren't in such a hurry, we'd go to Sol and show him the trophies we took from demons. Stop shaking in fear and summon the tribes. The way I see it, we don't have time to waste right now. We have to deal with Sol after we conquer Dresden. That's fair. That's honestly a fair bit right there. I already spoke to Irabeth. Now if I could only just find the others. Loot. Loot! Sir, the commander is going around taking loot from all of the goddamn chests again. Ember is bobbing her head and humming a tune. She greets you with a carefree, cheerful smile. Her wandering eyes linger on you for just a moment before darting off into the distance. How are you handling your new abilities? Abilities? What are you talking about? Oh, the tricks you learned when the big gray house blew up. They're funny. Wait, thanks for teaching them to me. Alright. Queen gave me the title of Knight Commander and put me in charge of the army. What do you think about that? The elf focuses her wandering gaze on your eye, smiles and shakes her head. Don't believe titles. All of us in the world are children of the street, barefoot, hungry, scared, a step away from death. Some imagine they're strong and rich like gods, but don't forget who you really are behind the title. Well, that's humbling. So go. Yep. Alright. Where the hell is everyone else on this map? Assuming that they have anything relatively useful to say. Told you if you're not stealing from the quartermaster, are you? Hey, Chief, want to talk? What do you think about your new powers? Woljif pauses to think, rubbing his chin. You mean what you did back there? I have a few ideas. We could send you to Pitax's underground arena to fight. Give you a big scary name like Swift Sting or something like that. Give you a great cover story. Enemies burn down your house, you're avenging your dead family. Public eats that stuff up. You'll wear a shiny, eye-catching outfit, or a black one if you like black better. We'll split the prize money 60-40. 60 for me, of course. You know, arranging fights isn't easy. Those people are tough. I'll be taking more risk than you. And after we get set up in Pitax, we'll tour different cities, make some more money. What, you don't like the sound of that? Do you have any other suggestions? He grins, his yellow eyes lighting up. I got one more. Have you heard of Razmirin? Realm known as Razmirin was once just another turbulent river kingdom, Archduchy of Milkat, where leadership changed as often as the years. It was conquered by Razmir, a tyrant claiming to have ascended to godhood. That sounds like a bad time. In some lanes of the river kingdoms ruled by King Razmir, a friend of mine used to live in Razmirin. He just got out of there as fast as he could. Long story short, the King Razmir of theirs is a god. He keeps his people under his heel. They're all terrified of what he might do. He sits on his throne wearing some white mask, giving power to anyone. Come and take power from me, he says, so long as you believe in me. Quickly checks that no one is eavesdropping. But that friend of mine, the one who fled, has a half-sister on the old man's side who's a cook in the castle, and a washerman who the cook plays cards with in the evening told her a juicy rumor. Word is, Razmir isn't a real god at all. He's got no powers. So, here's my point. You do have powers. Pretty scary ones, too. We'll find some shabby little kingdom. I'll start some rumors. You'll show off a few tricks to wow the locals, and that's it. We'll make you a deity. But first, I want you to put it in writing that I'll be your chief advisor. I'm not doing anything just on the nod. I've been there. People promise you mountains of gold, and then when you have it, they're all, get lost, or I'll set the dogs on you. So, yeah, like the idea? Part of me believes that Aaron would take that as an insult, really. He doesn't truly really believes in gods. He just uses their power. It's an interesting idea, but I'll need to think about it. Sure thing, think about it. Just call me if you need me. We'll discuss it. Whatever, free to do as you please. Am I? Alright, so I got these two to talk to over here. Won't lie, I figured that there was going to be needing a talking. Just didn't realize it was going to be this much. There you are. So how do you like your new role, advisor? You also enjoy poking me with that stick, don't you? Imagine me a crusader. If my dearest cousin hoped to teach me a lesson, she managed it perfectly. An assignment I couldn't avoid without losing face, this idiotic journey leading straight to the demon's maw. I could have been on a pleasure boat right now with the loveliest songstress and Pitex on my arm and a bottle of the finest Keonan wine to keep us company. Did you also receive a fraction of that unusual power? Looks like it. I genuinely hoped that getting away from you would be the end of it. If your gift truly did come from Iomade, then giving me a smidgen of that power was a very subtle joke on her part. I had no idea that our divine lightbringer of Mindev ever even had a sense of humor. Don't get me started on how many acts of sacrilege, on my many acts of sacrilege against her. That obscene engraving, the truth about the test of the Starstone, is the tamest one by far. So for those that don't know, the Starstone is one of the things that came down during the Earthfell, which grants people that prove its tests that they can become a god. Iomade was one of these individuals. I think Caden Kalen. God, I wish I remembered my Pathfinder lore at the top of my head. Was another one. People say you're deliberately trying Queen Galfrey's patience. Is that true? Does it even matter? All of Mendevian high society has declared a war on me. They either despise me or they're trying to steer me back into the right path, and I'm doing everything in my power to keep them on their toes. I relish the prospect of all the fun this mess in Kennebrus will bring. He grins from ear to ear. I shall either commission a song about the great Kennebrus fiasco from a certain talented bard, or confuse the jewelers with a rather tall order, a batch of silver dragon toys with detachable heads. Give me a week and they will be in every shop in the capital. Your jokes are silly and childish if you really want to get your revenge, then make your enemies suffer. That's quite a dangerous, tiresome, and probably not very fun. Besides, nobody has really pestered me all that much yet. Still, he suddenly adopts a more serious expression. I wouldn't mind making the demons suffer. Our righteous society loves to frown upon the torture of prisoners. Would they frown quite so much if the prisoners in question were an incubus or a succubus? Of course he would go right for the incubus or the succubi. So I'd love to visit Heaven's Edge and see the Arnday state someday. Oh, I was just about to mention it myself. I've been thinking, now that I'm in the middle of a whole crusade nonsense, I simply must devise new ways to have fun. With all the recent commotion, my birthday completely slipped my mind. What if we were to celebrate it at Heaven's Edge? It's not far from here, and you'll get to enjoy a banquet in a bona fide haunted house. He seems to have trouble getting the words out, which clearly indicates how rarely he has to ask for anything. Since you're my supervisor and I'm your advisor, I am obliged to ask your permission to leave for festivities, and I want to invite you. I'm sure the commander can free up an afternoon while the soldiers are on leave. Are you really going to throw a banquet in the very place where your whole family died? Purses his lips for a moment before replying with a bored drawl. Yes? What of it? Am I supposed to weep and quake for the fear the rest of my life? I stayed away from the damn place for 10 years, and now I'm going to return there to drink, dance, and be merry without a care in the world. You can keep your squeamish disapproval to yourself. Alright, deal. Perfect. We'll have a ball. You'll have a ball, I'll make sure of it. Something strange flickers in Darren's smile. Oh, now we can go to Heaven's Edge, apparently. And only got one other dude to talk to, right? Right. Sauciel. I probably butchered that name. This will be interesting. I don't know if there's going to be any special dialogue between us, seeing as I am a worshipper of Zong Kuthon, and he is a worshipper of Zong Kuthon's half-sister.
Hello again. I'm very pleased to meet you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me. It's a pity I wasn't there at the Grey Garrison to witness your feats of strength with my own eyes. The flash, however, could be seen miles and miles away. Some people were frightened of it, thinking that the demons had blown up the remains of the keep. I, for one, knew immediately that it was a good sign. The light above the city showed us that there was still hope.
Who are you, and how could you possibly be use of my army?
My name is Sozio Vanek. I am a cleric of Shaylin, the Eternal Rose and the Goddess of Beauty. Yes, I know that many people would consider me useless in a war. This is not a usual war, though. Just consider our enemy. The Abyss and his demons are the very embodiment of everything evil and ugly in the world. Perhaps a disciple of kindness and beauty might come in handy. I have no doubt that we will win this war, Commander. We just have to. It is our destiny. My role is to help you, and all those standing by your side in this struggle, to survive and flourish. Everyone deserves the chance to find peace and happiness in the world that they are defending so selflessly.
What is it you are painting? The cleric's eyes linger mournfully on the canvas. The unfinished painting depicts a temple crowned with a rainbow-tailed bird, the symbol of Shellen. 5 people dressed in robes stand before the temple. Men and women, young and old. They all gaze back at you with radiant happiness and joy in their serene eyes.
My brothers and sisters in faith. They sent me for help and then they saved my life, Commander. If the Prioress hadn't ordered me to escape the city and seek help, I would have died right along with them. Instead, I met Queen Galfrey on my way to Nerosian and hurriedly returned to Canabris, only to find my friends dead on the steps of our desecrated temple. I want to draw them the way they live on in my memory. Wise, beautiful, and loyal to their goddess and their city to the very end.
They fulfilled their duty honorably.
They did more than their duty. They gave everything they had to save others. Now it's my duty to make sure my friends and tutors did not die in vain. I will honor their sacrifice by making this world a bit more beautiful and kind.
What made an artist enlist in the army?
Perhaps I am a true artist, or simply an amateur who defaces canvases in my spare time. My goddess is a patron of art, so painting is part of my prayer, and I put all my heart into my pieces. But I am a cleric above all else, so I must also tend to others. I went to war because here's where I'm most needed. Sure, I could be painting idyllic landscapes and offering empty prayers to my goddess, but that won't stop people from dying. My goddess has no tolerance for false piety.
You wanted to discuss something with me, right?
Yes, I have a personal request. Before we undertake our journey and leave Canabris behind, I would like to visit Martyr Zacharias' cemetery for a funeral. It's not far from here, and it's important. I would like to pay my respects to my friends from the Temple of Shaylin who died defending the city. Also, if it's not too much trouble, I would like you to come with me to honor their memory. Their friends and family will be at the funeral, and perhaps the commander's personal presence will bring them comfort. I know that you are burdened by many cares right now, so I understand if you can't find the time. But if you could, I would be sincerely grateful.
Nice meeting you. Have to go.
You must be rather busy indeed. Leading a crusade all by yourself is no joke. I still believe that you are up to the task. This war has been raging for 100 years, but you've given us a chance at victory.
Cool. So now we can go to this. Excuse me, my throat is all choking up. Give me a second. Sorry about that. So we can go forth. Many a location, I believe, at this point. We got many a side quests that need doing. Really quick though. Yep. Knew I was forgetting something. I gotta do spellbooky stuff. What exactly? I don't know. Old person is a really good one. Lesson of courage and knife. Bursting. Eh. Spellcasting is always the hardest for me because I look at the things and go like, that's useless, that's useless, that's useless. But in the end, some of them are useful, so. Oh man, if effortless armor lasted hours instead of minutes, that'd be perfect. I would just need something to make it so as armor isn't as much of a pain in the ass. That's fear and death. Saving throws in fear. Arrow of Law. Was this the damaging one? Yeah, 1 die 8 damage per 2 caster levels. Chaotic Evil Outsider instead takes 1d6 per caster level and is dazed for a round. Will saves have the effect though. I think I'll just prepare another Bull Strength. So, Sauciel. That's a restoration. Oh, he is a good line cleric, which means that he can spontaneously decide to take one of his spells, and just decide, you know what, this is a cure spell now, which is pretty good. And he is another one of those characters where it's like, hey, I am very martially adept, and I probably should laden him with half-decent effects. Oh, and since he's a cleric, instead of a war priest, he's actually able to cast 3rd level spells at this point. He's got prayer and dispel magic. About time someone's got dispel magic, just casually prepared. God, what do I want for you? I don't even know. What's aid? +1 morale bonus on attack rolls, temporary hit points. Yeah, why don't you prepare that? Let's see, and you've also got Unbreakable Heart and Bless. If you've got the other one, then then Bless is kind of useless. Won't lie. He's a Dreams, that's not going to work. Field of Faith. I think Barrier seems like it'd be a good idea, but again, he's kind of got this whole... Luck and Good domains. So Good works like the Evil domain, except it's all good line stuff. Getting bonus to stuff equal to half your level in the class that you gave that gave you access for 1 round. So he can walk up and beep, give someone a +3 bonus at this point. And Holy Lance at 8th level. 8. Luck, which allows him to basically roll 2d20s and take the better result. And Divine Fortune. Bless for next half your level in this class that gave you this access in the domain of the round. You roll 2 times, take the best. Is that basically just the same ability twice? I think that's mostly just the same ability twice. Alright, might as well prepare some of your other spells. Are we not considered rested? I don't think it's considered us rested. That's a little bit butts. Yeah, it didn't rest us that entire time. That's a little annoying. Do Sense Vitals just because that's a pretty decent spell. Window Eye doesn't have any. You've only got 1st level spells, so I think we're all good. So I think we'll take a quick rest. Oh wait, no. I want to go back up here, sell the stuff, then we'll take a rest. So that everyone's actually prepared. Oh. Saw you talking to the girl hiding her face. Who is she and what did she want? I don't know, Commander. She never introduced herself, but I bet she's not this part of our army. Know all our soldiers by name and by sight. He frowns gloomingly, his cordiality gone in an instant. She's looking for some elf volunteer, wanted to know which tent she was sleeping in. At first I thought she was a messenger from Mendev. She definitely wasn't one of us. But now I see how it all looks mighty shifty. Quartermaster eyes you with concern. He was some sort of spy then. Cool. Gotta love spies. Spies in the mists. Yeah, I got a bunch of things that I need to be reading at some point. Why the hell do I have 2 decapitated heads? They're just in my inventory. It's a little bit concerning, I will not lie. Like, don't get me wrong, evil, so used to it, but at the same time, why? Alright. The hell to give you? I do have another glaive, don't I? One in my quarters. Kukri. Glaive. The Marching Terror. Not sure he's gonna much appreciate, something called a Marching Terror, but Gonna do better for him than the others. I can give him the breastplate or I can give him the half plate. I'm not sure what his strength is like. Well, no. I think his strength is a 16. I'll grab both at the moment. Just so as it can be all like, alright. What fits you better, social? First off, yep. Marching terror. Let's see. So the breastplate is +7. He's got a strength of 16, which is less than what we currently got. But let's see. I'm also just looking at the weight. 30 pounds, 50 pounds, 50 pounds. So the most benefit will be the half plate. Just that will put him right on the cusp of being overweight. And we're not exactly swimming in magical items at the moment, so it's not exactly like it can just casually go, oh hey, BT dubs, here's a goddamn and specifically when a critical hits. I won't lie, I really do want to, now that he's popped in, I almost do want to pull a whole glaive/flail thing. Yeah, get you in here. Because we're going to be squad members will prepare potions. Oh wait, no. You aren't who I got to prepare potions. You are who I got to prepare potions. Not enough reagents. Shit. Because I was going to be all like, hey, I'm just going to craft a bunch of these. But apparently I need rainbow quartzes. Great. Oh, God. Where the hell is the reagents dude on my map? Oh, wait. Not exit area. Just to go outside. That's cool, though. They make it so as you can leave the camp. Or they can leave... Hello. Commander, do you wish to talk to me? I've talked to Darren about the estate. He's going to celebrate his birthday at Heaven's Edge, so we can go there as guests. Celebration is far from ideal. It will be rather inconvenient for me to conduct the experiment with all the guests around. Thank you nonetheless, Commander. When you decide to go to the estate, I will join you. Cool. Where was the dude who sold me alchemical stuff? I'm pretty sure that was... Is that another Houndhearts? Just sometimes I find it weird that some of these dudes are actually named and then I'm like, go up to them and all they do is spout a little bit of dialogue. Yeah, Laura, where the hell is my reagents guy? Legit question. Probably down by Nino, if anything. No.
As it should be.
See, assuming that it's the same people that I had met in the other place. Yeah, and you guys are just all meh. Is it just the quartermaster? There's the blacksmith. Alright, blacksmith has just some straight up weapons. Unremarkable cold iron stuff, but weapons nonetheless. As a single cold iron masterwork spiked shield. Cool. Nothing else of value. Show me what you have. 25 scrolls inflict wounds. That's kind of hilarious. +1. Oh, wow. Luck bonus to AC. Luck bonus to reflex, will, and fortitude. Oh no, that's what I've already got on hand. Shush. Mighty fists. Agile fists. Wait. Natural armor 2. I keep on reading the leftmost as the item of here. Bleh. And ring of protection 2. Yeah. I don't know which one of these NPCs is the one to provide me the materials I need. Wait, you're what now? Oh, that Nura. Knight Commander, how can I help? There's much I can do, just ask. Looks at you with eyes filled with enthusiasm. She's holding a notebook and a traveler's inkwell. Probably heard about the wound that I have, the one that sometimes opens on my chest. Can you perhaps tell me if it's some kind of demonic curse? Yes, indeed. I've been told of your affliction. Can you will the wound to open? No? That's a shame. What can you tell me about this wound? Well, it's difficult to say. I know of blades that leave never healing cuts, of poisons that stop wounds from healing, heard of witches' curses that are rewarded with eternal wounds, but wounds that seem to reopen and heal over and over? Perhaps you know of other cases like this? Let me think. In 4671, a Mandavian army corporal had all his bones and cartilage turned to glass. In 4700, a scribe of Canubris had all her skin simply come away like it's been boiled. In 4638, oh, you don't happen to have insects crawling over you? Locusts? No? Rats, perhaps? Too bad. Do you think it's dangerous? It's most likely is dangerous, but you're under the protection of Iomade, Commander. She granted you mythic powers, as they say. Surely the Inheritor would not leave you to face this alone. Have you perhaps noticed that the wound opens at moments when you waver in your faith? Perhaps it is triggered by doubt. I mean, don't have much faith in Iomade in the first place, but alright. Sorry, can I help you with anything useful? I'll be sure to study this matter and consult a few of my encyclopedias. So tell me about yourself. Oh my, I could tell you so many amazing things, and each is the most boring one of all. Alright then, what about myself? Where are you from? Isgir, a small piece of land that proudly calls itself a country, though it hasn't been independent for a single day and is all the centuries it's existed. They have a lot of national pride, but all of it is borrowed. Always looking to the great day when they can at last be free from the rule of Cheliax. Basically, Cheliax is devil ruled and is where the Hell Knights come from. Yeah, it's a pretty strict place. Isgiri love talking politics. If two of them start bargaining over beets at the market, you can be sure that they'll end up arguing about whether an independent Isgir will be a monarchy or a republic. I've always found it funny to listen to, and a little disgusting. You see, there are a lot of us halflings in the country, but very few are citizens. Most are slaves. I was lucky. I've always been clever ever since I was little, so they sent me to a school instead of making me do the grunt work. They taught me to count, write, was sold as a secretary to the Lord Axilar Tresbot. He was the one I left Isgar with. Never to return, I hope. How did you come to serve Queen Galfrey? I was a slave of Lord Alexar Tresbot in Isgar, my homeland. Oh, what a man he was. He towered over his fellows like a rock over a garbage heap. True hero. He bought me as a simple secretary, but he made me learn the history of the world wound. All of it. One volume after another. He hired tutors for me. He even sent me to prominent historians. He didn't want a simple slave, but a slave with an impeccable education. Lord Tresbot was going on a crusade. He firmly believed that the servants of the good gods were weak, and only a follower of Asmodeus could stand against the demon invasion. He took me along as a secretary, a historian, and most importantly, he entrusted me with recording his glorious story of future generations. I can read. In his crusade, Lord Tresbot performed many brave feats, but even he could not stand against the world wound alone. In his final battle with the demons, when my lord realized he was doomed, his final act was to cover my retreat, so that I could tell the world of his great deeds. Some people have said that he was not heroic, just an arrogant moron puffing himself up one last time. But I say curse their tongues. My difficult journey ended in Mendev, where I found my freedom. There I published Lord Tresbot's biography, and I don't want to boast about it, but... who am I kidding? Of course I do. Books sold in great numbers and made me rather famous for a time. That's what brought me to the Queen's attention. She invited me to record it. After all, she was curious about my deceased lord, and she was in great need of an expert on the history of the world wound. I hope you'll find me useful as well. So you're not just a historian, but a writer too? Will you write a book about my crusade? Why not? As soon as we finish off the demons, I'll get right to it. Just take care that you don't end up like Lord Tresbot. Do you worship a deity? He makes a wry face. When I was a slave in Isgard, they would beat me with a stick to force me into believing Asmodeus. They hit me and said it was for my own good. Ever since then, I don't like temples. I realize there are different gods like Desna or Caden who teach goodness and freedom, but it's just, as soon as I smell frankincense, I see the slave driver's stick. Maybe one day I'll be able to turn to a deity without cringing for a blow for not being reverent enough. But for now, I let others pray for me. Her smile trembles and collapses. Nura sounds sincere, but you feel that she's holding something back. Yeah. I was lucky. Because I barely made that, apparently. Thank you for your answers. You're welcome. You should ask me about something more interesting. Tell me about the history of the world wound. Oh, I could talk about that for hours. What exactly you want to know? Don't exactly have hours in this video, but how did the world wound come to be? Happened in the year Aradin died, 4606, a little over a century ago. No one knows if the timing was coincidental or if there's some connection with Aradin's death, but I'll tell you what we do know. Priests and shamans who ruled Sarkoris hated arcane magic and all who practiced it. Wizards and sorcerers were driven from the land, or worse. One of their prisons held a witch named Arelu Vorlesh. We knew nothing about her besides her name and, of course, the atrocity she committed. By some unknown method, she managed to harness the terrible power of the demon lord Discari. Together, they tore open the barrier between worlds, opening a rift to the abyss in the very middle of Sarkoris. The world wound slowly but mercilessly expanded, devouring more and more land. In the matter of years, Sarkoris was a memory. After a moment's silence, Nura added softly, "Sometimes I think, what did they do to Arelu in that prison? Just imagine, she was really ready to give herself to the abyss, if only the demons might devour her torturers along with her. To imagine such hatred terrifies me." I have to go. Also, you seem to have a lot of random ass books in here that I could... Ooh, that's just a book. That's just a book. That's just a book. Alchemist's Fire, those are useful. Bunch of spell scrolls. Ooh. Well, there's some rainbow quartz. And okay. Thank you for your time. Yeah, I completely forgot that didn't need to talk to her, but at the same time, it's one of those things. What's kind of throwing me off too, like I'm still kind of used in a way to what is it, Baldur's Gate, where you pull up the map and you have your map and whatnot, but I need to get used to this little point of view sort of a thing. Anyways, we're going to go to rest really quick. Now that we have, some goddamned. Was it not you? Yeah, it was you. Goddamn. Doing that thing again. Was that? Oh, that's cure serious wounds. Okay, Jesus. I was like, why could I not craft that? Cure serious wounds heals one more than moderate wounds, but the caster level increase is also higher, so it has a maximum of plus 15 as opposed to the maximum plus 10 that cure moderate does. That said, I'm still gonna go with that. And then we're going to have you stripe some scrolls. Shall we deal with the old reliable? Relatively reliable anyways. I understand why people enjoy mocking others, even those we don't like. I do not understand why I enjoy it so much either. I simply do it and it brings me pleasure. That's because, Darren, you're an asshole. Excellent. Full rest. Everyone's got their spell slots. I only have the random ass things that I have in my possession to sell, but I think I'm going to save and call an episode here. Where's my... Okay. So 26, so... Let's play 27. 27. Yay. I think we're part of the second act at this point, where we're finally outside of the walls of the village city place, Canabras. The things are gonna get much more open at this point. Thank you everyone so very much for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying this series as much as I'm enjoying playing it, and as always, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Take care. Cheers.